Did you know that for this movie, the youngest of the Abbott family, the son Beau, is played by young actor Cade Woodward in the first film? In the opening flashback scenes in this movie, Beau is played by Cade's younger brother, Dean Woodward. So I absolutely love the first Quiet Place movie, super solid horror movie, very cool, very creative. John Krasinski's first movie that he's ever directed. He did a phenomenal job. He's coming back with the sequel, A Quiet Place Part 2. There's a lot of great things going on in this movie as well. And I have 3 things I liked in this movie. And the last thing is definitely my favorite. The first thing I liked about this movie was it was a solid story once again. We get a continuation of how the first movie ended going into the second movie. We get a flashback scene, pretty good flashback scene, so we get to see John Krasinski come back as Lee. We get to see day one from where they are. They're not in New York where it all happened. I don't remember what city they're in, but some cool little Easter eggs hidden in that scene. We get to see the rocket from the first movie in the store. Flash forward to how the first movie ended, and now we get right after that. That's the main storyline, is finding civilization again, finding people who have made it. It's just a very harrowing adventure once again. The characters in this movie are great. Cillian Murphy was amazing in this movie. He's very, very good at horror movies and just like psychological thrillers. It's just a very versatile guy, very great actor. His character Emmett was really fun to watch. He's trying to find some redemption. He failed to save his wife, he failed a lot of different ways, and he's kind of given up hope. But the reason why he doesn't really give up hope is because the daughter kind of pushes him and inspires him to keep moving forward. I just really enjoyed Cillian's performance. Number 2 reason, once again, this movie delivered on tension and violence. It's such a unique part of these movies where you're just drawn in by the silence. You know, the family has figured out how to navigate and kill these creatures, but a lot of people still haven't, and that's why they're traveling. They're trying to find people to equip them with the knowledge that they have. There are a couple really good moments of tension in here. I always actually really like the scene where the son Beau gets his foot caught in the bear trap. As brutal as that was, I always found that to just be like sheer terror. The tension and the terror like builds on itself, like they're already trying to get away and be quiet, and one thing after another, just one sound happens and something else happens and something greater happens. Now they're panicking, they're in a rush to get to safety. Just so many great moments of tension once again. The violence is I'd say a little more extreme this time. Bear trap scene, I would say, is probably the most violent part in the movie, but there are a couple other moments where it's just nasty stuff. And my favorite scene in this movie was the boat scene. Just the amount of violence and action that happened. There are really good sequences, and just how it was not only Emmett and Regan against these creatures, which there are like 3 of them, but they're now against these humans who have very little regard for human life at this point. So, you know, they're in a whole different situation before, and then we get to see that these creatures can't swim. Now we get to see a weakness that these creatures have. They do have a weakness to sound, that's a big one, but another weakness is they can't swim. So we're building on like the advantages that humans are starting to gain here, and eventually they're going to get to a point where they're going to be able to wipe out these creatures. Hopefully in the sequel. I've read that there's a sequel coming in 2025 because I want to see these creatures get taken out once and for all. So I absolutely love this movie. If you haven't seen it in a while, check it out. It's on Hulu right now. So for A Quiet Place Part 2, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10 Mudflaps. Remember, leave me a thumbs up and drop in the comments below. What is your favorite part to a horror movie? See you next time.